Many men believe they are faithfully manifesting their desire when their daily conduct is quietly proving the opposite. They imagine the end, then immediately search the world for evidence. They repeat a phrase, then abandon it because nothing appears to move. They pray with such urgency that the prayer itself becomes an admission of fear. And finally, they begin counting the days and studying every circumstance for proof. These are 4 clear signs that you are no longer resting in the result, but struggling to make it happen. Constant checking, changing methods, working from panic, and measuring every delay and outward movement. Stay with me, because before this lesson ends, you will be able to recognize each sign in your own practice, understand how one leads to the next, and know exactly what must stop. For sometimes the greatest obstacle is not the condition before you, but the anxious manner in which you keep returning to it. The first sign is constant checking. You have imagined the result, but you cannot leave it alone. You study the conduct of the person you love. You examine the ledger again. You wait for the letter, the payment, the invitation, or some visible change that will assure you your inner work has succeeded. To observe a fact when action is required is natural, but repeated checking is different. It is a demand for reassurance. Suppose you have imagined reconciliation. One kind word gives you hope. One cold reply makes you believe everything is lost. Or you imagine financial relief. Then one unexpected expense returns you to fear. The condition is deciding when you believe. And when checking gives no comfort, doubt enters. Perhaps I used the wrong method. That doubt leads directly to the second sign. Having found no reassurance outside, you begin searching for another way. You abandon the imaginal scene for an affirmation, then the affirmation for an inner conversation, a prayer, or a revision. Soon, you are moving from method to method, hoping the next one will force the result to appear. This may look like dedication, but beneath it is one conclusion. What I did before was not working. It is like planting a seed, disturbing the soil the next morning, and replacing it because no growth is visible. Nothing is allowed to take root. A method has one purpose, to help you accept the end. Once it has done that, leave it alone. Use the scene or phrase that gives you relief, but do not keep changing the doorway after you have entered the room. For when a man distrusts every method, he begins to repeat more, strain more, and work from fear. Then practice becomes the third sign. You are manifesting from panic when the practice feels like an emergency. You believe you must repeat the words again, imagine the scene again, or correct every fearful thought before something goes wrong. You fear that one moment of doubt will destroy the work or that resting will delay it. You treat your desire as something fragile that must be held together by constant effort. But this is not persistence. It is fear dressed as discipline. A man worried about money may say, I am secure all day, while every repetition is driven by terror that the debt will remain. A woman longing for love may imagine reconciliation repeatedly, not because she feels loved, but because she fears being forgotten. If the practice leaves you more tense and exhausted, stop. Do not add another 100 repetitions. Return to one simple conclusion. The matter is handled. You need not control every thought. You only need to stop behaving as though the result depends upon your nervous supervision. For panic must always know whether progress is being made, and so it begins to count. The fourth sign is measuring everything by time and outward movement. You say, It has been 3 days, 3 weeks, many months. You study every conversation, payment, opportunity, and change in another person's conduct. You ask, has anything actually changed? Is the result getting closer? Why has nothing happened yet? But every measurement repeats the same conclusion. It is still absent. A man seeking work receives one encouraging conversation and decides the door is opening. Several quiet days follow, and he decides everything has failed. A person seeking financial relief receives a small sum, then immediately asks why the full amount has not appeared. Nothing is allowed to unfold. Everything must report its progress. You are standing outside the result, inspecting the road, and demanding to know how much farther remains. Time is not the enemy. The mistake is making time the judge of what you have accepted. Do not count the days as though delay were a verdict. Let the sequence unfold without forcing it to explain itself at every step. By now, you can see how one habit quietly produces the next. Checking creates doubt. Doubt makes you change the method. Changing the method creates strain. Strain becomes panic, and panic begins measuring every day and every visible movement. But you do not need another technique to correct this. Choose the end. Use one method that helps you accept it. Then stop testing what you have accepted. Take whatever practical action is necessary, but do not examine the soil after the seed has been planted. Plant it and allow it to remain planted. So look honestly at your practice. Are you resting in the result, or are you checking, changing, forcing, and counting? Stop working against your desire. Let the matter be settled. Now, let us go into the silence